Good day, everyone. Hello, nice to have you here today. We're continuing today's book review, The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. We're continuing the review today, and today's topic, the chapter we're dealing with is chapter 5, which is getting more appointments. And with network marketers, I see that more into prospecting, and I have a video at the end of this that I'm going to share with you from Ray Higdon. He's actually doing some form of workshop this week, and this was from the day 2, perfectly suitable for this type of thing. So we'll be going through this, and please feel free to let me know if you have any contribution that you want to add to this. So let's get it going. Getting more appointments. The main thing here is when you're prospecting, it's about prospecting, right? And how do you get more people to show your business? How do you get more people to say yes to you, to be able, so that you can get them to a prospecting call, or you can get them to watch your video, or get them to, check out your business, right? So that is basically what we're looking at. This particular chapter is how to, get people to agree to set up an appointment with you. So getting more appointments. I love the way he started this with McR Douglas quote. He says, when a man has done his best, he has given his all, and in the process supplied the needs of his family and his society, that man has made a habit of succeeding. I know you know your why you are in this business in the first place. And what makes you a success? What makes you a success is that you are able to get to your why. And part of the steps to get to your why definitely is ensuring that you're succeeding in every activity that leads up to building your business. And the very first part of it is prospecting. And of course, in the process of selling, prospecting is essential. It says the most important rule for selling success is spend more time with better prospect, right? This is basically qualifying your prospect, ensuring that you have quality prospects that you're talking to, right? So more salespeople lose heart and give up what might have been a successful career because of their inability to master the skills of prospecting than for any other reason. So the most important skill that you need to acquire in this business is prospecting, getting people to check out your business, getting your business, that video, in the front of prospects, getting them to come to prospecting call and all of that. So it is essential to get people, to get your advertisement, to get your promotion in the front of people so they can see, right, the benefits that your business is going to give unto them, right? And then it says here, you can learn any skill. Now, a lot of people you might have tried things, you might have thought, okay, I don't think I'm good at prospecting. Come on, I don't even think I'm good at selling, right? You might have such mind or such limiting belief, but I want you to, put that aside right now. Because fortunately, prospecting is a skill that can be learned. It's a skill that can be learned. So if anyone else is good at prospecting, that is a proof that you can be good at it as well. So do not neglect prospecting. Do not neglect, pursuing and, getting more people, getting your business opportunity in front of other people, because right? This business that you're in has a lot to offer people. But when you have what can heal, when you have what can make people successful in life, when you have what can give people money and time freedom, but you don't share it, then at the end of the day, what does that do? At the end of the day, you are withholding what will benefit other people. And we know what that is, right? That is wickedness in a sense, just putting it point blank. So now, how do you then get people to know, okay, I have found this amazing opportunity and I feel it's going to be a right one for you, but I just wanted to check it out. But if you feel it's not right for you, definitely there's no big deal to it, right? So being able to do that is a skill. Prospecting is a skill and it can be learned. That is a good news, right? So what are the process of prospecting? Your first contact with the prospect will begin the process. That is the start. You're prospecting on social media, you're prospecting face-to-face, whatever you're doing, your very first contact with the people or with the person is the start of the process, right? Which, the goal of reaching out in the first place, of reaching out to anybody in the first place, is that it will conclude with a sale, right? Every word of your approach, our introduction must be planned in advance to accomplish the following goals. So it stated a few goals, that all of the steps, all of the things you need to accomplish in the process of prospecting. So these are the goals. The very first one is break preoccupation. Break preoccupation. So what is preoccupation, right? Preoccupation is whenever you call anyone, whenever you reach out to anyone, they are busy. They're thinking about other things. You reach out to them in one-on-one, maybe they are on their way somewhere. You're reaching out to them one-on-one, maybe at a gathering. They might be discussing something else, right? Or maybe you're reaching out to them on the phone. They might be in the middle of something, right? They are involved in their own problems, in their work, in their family matters, in their health issues, businesses, or even bills that they have surrounding them. So they are preoccupied with other things. So unless you can break through this preoccupation with your opening words, you never get a chance to make a sales presentation. So how do you have some opening words, those opening words, that would break their preoccupation? So some people go off, introduce themselves and begin talking about the product and services immediately. But Brian is saying here in the psychology of selling that a better way to introduce yourself, a better way is to introduce yourself and then ask, I need about 2 minutes of your time. Is this a good time to talk? So this is courteous. You're being cautious when you do this. You are showing people you appreciate, you are being respectful of their time, right? So once you get that and they're able to confirm that, yes, they have a few minutes to talk to you, then you go ahead and set up the appointment, which he says, sell the appointment, not the product. So prospecting, when you're trying to get people to a prospecting call, you sell the appointment, right? And what is that? You want to, the goal of you reaching out to them at that particular point in time is for them to say, yes, they will come for the call. They will attend the prospecting call, or they will attend the prospecting meeting, or they will watch the video that you sent to them. That is the goal of that initial, contact. So never talk about your product or price on the phone or in the initial contact, unless you can actually close that sale without having to show them any other thing. But the rule of thumb is don't talk about product or services or price rather. So it then boils down to those 4 words, those first few words that you have to say that will cause them to, stop whatever they're doing and set their attention on you. So those first few words should be the equivalent of throwing a brick through a plate glass window. Develop an opening statement or question that gets their complete attention. These statements should always be aimed at the result or benefit that a prospect will receive from your product or service, but does not mention the product or service itself. So focus on what the results and the benefits the prospect is going to have. There are some few examples that that is going to demonstrate for us, right? So how do you do this? How do you do this? He mentioned, he gave a case study of a salesman that worked for Corning Glass. That is a company that produced safety glass, right? This was his first time as a young salesman, and he was able to receive the first prize for sales performance. And of course, so a top earner, a top performer will be asked to talk to, share what made them successful. So they wanted to know, how did you sell so much safety glass than anyone else? Now, how is this safety glass? This product contained a transparent plastic sheet between two pieces of glass. And as a result, it did not shatter the way most windshield glass did at that time. So that was some form of innovation that the company is selling. So how did he go about being able to sell more than any other person in the company? That's as a salesperson. So what he did was, how do you break the preoccupation? He says, demonstrate the benefit. So he explained, first of all, I went to the factory to cut some safety glass. So he got some samples. So he got samples with him. So in your company, do you have access to samples? So that's the very first thing you need to look at. Do you have access to samples? So you go everywhere, wherever you go, when you go with your samples. The last time we spoke in the previous chapter, chapter 4, it talked about getting testimonials of your customers. Have them write it out, do the video, or in whatever form, so you can compile them and have them handy, right? In this case, he said he took samples with him and he was able to demonstrate the benefit. And what did he ask them? He says, would you like to see a piece of glass that doesn't shatter? That grabs the attention of any person that is in that business. And what he usually asks, what he usually hear back is, that's not possible. I don't believe it, right? And then he demonstrated the whole thing to them. And it was very simple. Having them seeing the fact that, okay, this person demonstrated this for us, and I could see with my own eyes that this glass did not shatter. So I would like to know more, right? So that's how he gets to selling. He says, then after that, it was simple. I would just ask, how much of it would you like? And then he started taking orders. So that's the power of demonstrating the benefit, having samples. Whatever business you're in, beauty, weight loss, LV, whatever it is, have samples that you can share, that you can demonstrate. And of course, with beauty, you should have to be maybe a picture of before and after, things like that, that you can show your customer. And that's for the product. And then, of course, for the business part of it, you are able to show that the product works, right, by demonstrating that for them, and they know, okay, I can make money doing this as well, right? So now what did he then do? They asked him, now teach it to every other person in the convention. He did, and everybody just went out and did the same thing. But the following year came around, he surpassed everybody as well. Now they asked him, what happened? We were doing the same thing now, aren't we? And you still outsold us. What he then do is he got the customer into the act, right? So he would say, you will put the glass the piece of glass on their desk and give them the hammer, and you ask them, they should eat it themselves. That is, the customers should use the sample. So once they use the sample, they are able to see that the results themselves. And once a customer is able to see the result for themselves, you don't have to, they are already sold, right? So when you go out with your samples, when you go out with your before and after picture of, your products, weight loss, beauty, all of those things, when you have testimonials and before and after pictures, when you have shown it to them, then offer them the samples to use. And they too can go, and use the product. I have a customer right now that used, that engaged using the product that I had for them. And even after I've like left them for them to, okay, for some time, I left them for like a period of a week. They had to come back like, wow, I felt the difference from when I used your product and now. So I need more. So they had to order more, right? So that definitely got them into the act. So they experienced, the benefits of the product. So it was easy. I just placed the order yesterday. So it was super easy to make that sale because they were able to experience it themselves, right? So once you begin, he says, well begun is half done. Once you are able to get them curious, to get them, wow, really? How do you do that? When they begin to ask you questions like that, you are on your way to making that sale or getting them on board. Now, your time is limited because the attention span of everybody is limited these days. Everybody is busy. They want to get to what they were, what they were doing before you, interrupted them in a way. So you have 30 seconds. You only have 30 seconds. And the first 15 to 25 words out of your mouth will set the tone for the rest of the conversation. It will set the tone. Should they continue to listen to you? Or should they just, excuse you off, right? So the main thing is ensure that those words, you have to plan the word, plan your opening statement or your opening question word for word. Plan it word for word. Your opening question or statement should be planned word for word. You have to rehearse them. You have to know what you're saying. You cannot stumble on your words. You have to know what you are saying to the point that until you get responses, that catches their, that shows you that you've caught their attention, though you've caught the curiosity, you've piqued their curiosity, then you continue to refine those words. You want to hear words like, really? What is it? Oh, wow, I would like to see, and things like that. Oh, is that really true? How do you do that? Things like that. So you need to get the opening statement, your opening words to get your prospect to a point that they want to know more. They want to know more. All right. So it continued, rewrite and reword your opening words. Yes, like I mentioned. Now, it says, I finally realized where I was going wrong, right? Initially, people were giving him excuses and all of that. So he realized, that's Brian Tracy now. He realized and developed a strategy to compensate for it. So the first thing he did is that he was going to speak to the right person before he made an attempt to set up an appointment. So the very first question he asked himself is, who is the prospect for sales training in a business organization? This was Brian's Tracy, who was selling sales training, to business organizations. So in your own business, you need to know, we went through this exercise a few chapters ago, that you need to know who are your prospects, who is your ideal customer, who are your ideal prospects, right? So it is this prospect that you are able, to set up that they are able to you're able to know, okay, these are the person that benefits from, the business, that will benefit from this opportunity. So for a sales training, of course, it's going to be a salesperson, is the owner or the sales manager. So then the second question would be, what is the basic need or concern of my ideal prospect? If you're in beauty, you're talking about, being anti-aging, whatever your product is doing. If it's health, weight loss, healthy eating, healthy living, and things like that, right? So whatever it is that your business is providing, what is the basic need and the concern of your ideal prospect? So that you must put into consideration. Right. So, and then you're able, then the next question, the other thing, once you've been able to identify these two things, you know who your ideal prospect is, and you know what their concern or their basic need is, then you'll be able to qualify your prospect even before getting in front of them. So when you get the right person, you are able to tell them what they want to hear. And all then they will ask you is, show me, how is that possible, right? And you'll be able to get them into the appointment, the sale presentation, the prospecting presentation, and all of that. So repeat the key benefits. Once you get to the person that you're talking, that is, your prospect, continue to make sure that they know what they're getting out of this. Ensure that they know the benefit. You're not talking about the product, you're not talking about the opportunity, you're not talking about the business yet, but you're telling them what they stand to gain, right? So that is what you are able to tell them. So basically, your opening question should trigger the response, what is it? Or really? How do you do that? If it does not generate such a response, then you need to rework the question. If it is not breaking the prospect's preoccupation and getting his complete attention, you must reword the question until it does. So that is very, very, very essential. Now, these are things we need to keep at the back of our mind. Sales resistance is normal. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personal at all that people are rejecting you. No. It's normal, because that is the knee-jerk reaction to sales when you ask people to come and buy, right? So ensure that you don't get put off by it. All right. So it's now giving us some few ways to neutralize the initial sales resistance. So he said, whenever you phone a prospect, whenever you reach out to a prospect, you are interrupting them from doing something that they're doing, right? They felt that thing might be more important to them than what you have to say. So you have the mindset that everybody is busy, right? And that's why you have planned your opening statement, you've planned your question, you've optimized the presentation to ensure that your first 30 seconds will not waste their time. So it says here is a simple technique that you can use to neutralize sales resistance at the very beginning. When the prospect says something like, thanks for calling, but I'm not interested, or we're not really in the market right now, you shouldn't take it seriously. You need to acknowledge it, acknowledge it and roll with it. Just roll with it. It says, that's all right. You can say, you can reply with, that's all right. Most people in your industry felt the same way when I first called on them, but now they've become our best customers and they recommend us to others all the time. So you can insert here things that other people have said to you as, in a way of resistance, and how they've come back around. So you can insert that here, right? So basically at this point, you just repeat the benefits to them again. So always customize your comeback. Now, ensure that it's something that is common that's one thing with network marketing, right? You have the evidence of social proof. You have other people, it might not be you that have that direct experience. It might not be your customers that provided those direct feedback, but within the organization, within the community, you have the social proof. You have, other people that's, bringing out testimonials from from every angle that you can use as well. So the social proof enables you to be able, to say to them, yeah, absolutely. I've heard other people say the same thing. People in your, in your shoe, like maybe I'm allergic. I've tried lots of other products. I just break out all the time. You can come back with, that is in beauty, right? You can come back and say, yes, wow. I tell you, I totally understand that. I have a customer right now. We have a customer right now in the community that had the same issue, that had the same, initial reaction, right? And today, after using this product for this period of time, they have seen results, right? So, and if it is you that are experiencing such a thing, you can go ahead and tell them. And of course, they can see the evidence in you, right? So that is where your testimonials comes handy, and your, before and after pictures, before and after videos goes a long way. So the social proof will definitely help out. Don't sell on the phone. Make sure that when you're reaching out to people to come for a prospecting call, let them ensure that is the end goal of that call. Don't try to sell on the phone, like that. So ensure that you have the call. You are able to get them to say, yes, they will attend, right? And in some cases, you might set appointments like, okay, does Tuesday work or Wednesday? If you have multiple times where you do the prospecting call, usually it's common for organizations or for groups to have prospecting call every week, once a week or once every other day. So you might just give them options. They might not be ready today to attend the prospecting call, but maybe Thursday might be better for them, or Saturday might be better for them. So you give them those options. Oh, is Thursday a good time for you, or Friday or Saturday, right? So they are the one making the choice that, yes, this is a better time for me, right? So basically, don't be put off by the excuse. That's the automatic reaction they're going to give you. Basically, just let them know, yes, you understand, or that they are whatever it is that they present to you, and then just move right along and set the appointment, right? So that is that on that. Now, once you get face-to-face with the prospect, once they get in on the prospecting call, if it's one-on-one, once you get back with them, to present the appointment, or you present the business opportunities to them, there are a few things you must note, right? Your first selling task is to get the prospect to listen to you. So you have to be able to get their attention. Before the prospect will relax and listen to you, she wants to be sure of 5 things, right? They won't say this, they might not even know it themselves, but this is typical. The very first thing is that they want to know and be sure that you have something important to communicate. So when anybody gets on a prospecting call, they want to know, I am not wasting my time on this call today. When anybody gets on your, wants to watch your video, they want to go, see that video and say, from the very first 5 seconds, 10 seconds, they want to get the sense that, wow, my life is about to change watching this video. From what this video is showing me. So you have to have that, straight to them. Second, they want to be sure that you're talking to the right person. You're right. You have to, and that's why the pre-qualification is important. Before you set the appointment, before you get them, to say, yes, I'm coming for the prospecting call, you have to know you're talking to the right person, right? if you're, getting them to join you, in your business, are they the kind of person that are open to make extra money on the side, right? Are they the kind of person that is, that if you're in beauty business, for example, are they the kind of person that are open to beauty products, that wants to use beauty products and be open to, show it to other people? Make sure that you have ascertained that you're talking to the right person. He gave some example here, but as it applies to us, that's the way I'm presenting it right now. And then thirdly, at least initially, the prospect wants to be assured that your visit will be short. So you have to, everybody is busy, and you have to respect their time. So whatever you want to present, it has to be concise. It cannot be, for example, nowadays, videos goes a long way. So it cannot be the 2-hour presentation. No, it cannot be a 2-hour presentation. If you can, have a prospecting video that will be maximum 20 minutes, that will be perfect, between 15 and 20 minutes. Because when you now begin to talk to the prospect, you can tell them, I just need 20 minutes of your time to watch this video. And then is tomorrow okay for me to follow up with you? And then you get back to them to ask them, have they watched the video? And then what do they like best about what they saw on the video? And then number 4, the prospect wants to be sure that she will be placed under no obligation if she meets with you. They can, if they have the sense that you want to sell them, that you want to come and sell something to them, or you want to sell them, they will find ways to make themselves unavailable to you. Rather, you must let them know that you want it's open. They're not under any obligation. And that's why you say, I have something to show you, and you can judge for yourself. So this takes the pressure off the prospect, and often determines whether you get the appointment in the first place, right? Because when they don't feel pressured and feeling under obligation, they're able to say, yes, I'm open, I'll check it out. And she's like, they will have the sense that, okay, if I say no to her, she's okay with me saying no. So some of them might even be armed with, with the mindset that I'm going into this with a no. I'm going to attend. I'm going to, I'm going to attend the call. I'm going to watch the video, and I'm going to come back and tell you no, so that you get off my back, right? But the main thing is, let them know they're not under any obligation. And then number 5, the prospect wants to be sure that you will not use high pressure. So do not pressure them. No matter what their answers are, no matter what their response are, let it be clear that if they decided and judged that this is not for them, that it's totally okay with you. All right. Begin with a well-structured question. One of the things that we have learned in this community over time with, the trainings that we've had is people love to answer questions. Whenever you're reaching out on social media, even on the phone. And I've been doing this with my children unawares, actually. I didn't learn it anywhere, but I realized that it helps me. I get responses from them when I do that. So when I tell them, we will be going out at 5 p.m. today. You make sure you get yourself ready. I don't leave it like that. I say, make sure you get yourself ready, okay? And then I get them to respond. They always, they are hearing me now. They always respond when I end with a question like that. So after I made a request that they have to do something, I say, okay, and then they respond. Sometimes, when you leave it open ended, sometimes they will say, yes, mommy, all of that, right? But when I ask question, always, they respond. So that is normal, with everyone. They will always, attempt to respond to you. So that is where we're going to end this today. And I have a video, like I said at the beginning, to share with you. I mean, it's really, really nice. It's a really nice training that I would love to share with you. Hi, Irene. So let me share this. Let me know if you can hear. The video. Okay.
This is one of those things that live by the sword, die by the sword. And so now that doesn't mean, notice the word I said. So number one, as far as recruiting rules, we suggest against prospecting other network marketers. This is one of those things that live by the sword, die by the sword. And so now that doesn't mean, notice the word I said, prospecting. If another network marketer reaches out to you and says, hey, I no longer like my company, that's a different story. That's a different story. Prospecting is actively you reaching out to an individual. And, could there be times where you don't know they're a network marketer? Sure, right? That's a mistake. That's an honest mistake. No big deal. But for you purposely targeting other network marketers. Now, I know people that have built their business targeting other network marketers, and a lot of times they get targeted too. They can get a bad reputation sometimes. They can, because of their kind of targeting, I think you attract who you are, not what you want, and all of a sudden they get targeted, and it really hurts, and they don't like that. Believe me, there are way more non-network marketers than network marketers, and so focus on those not in a network marketing company. And when I share scripts, and people tell me, "Oh man, I used your scripts and people hated them," 10 times out of 10. I come to find out that they were prospecting other network marketers. I'm telling you, it's actually harder to prospect other network marketers anyway, even if I was suggesting it, because they're typically more skeptical. They're typically looking at what you're saying to them and comparing it to what they do, which was probably different. Number two, stop trying to build rapport with cold market. People say that, social media should be like a cocktail party. Well, it's not. Because if you're at a cocktail party, that is a specific location at a specific time that you had to be invited to. So there's a lot of elements there that are in the favor of having the authority to ask rapport building kind of questions. How do you know Johnny? I know Johnny from here, right? Where do you live? Do you live around here? Right? So a cocktail party is a specific time and place tied to specific, people. That is certainly a place where you would build rapport. You wouldn't try to, prospect someone without building rapport at a cocktail party. On social media, you have people all over the world, all different time zones. It's a much higher level of skepticism than you being at a cocktail party. And so instead of trying to build rapport, here is the script that helped our friend Christina Danielle become the #1 recruiter in her company using our scripts 100% cold market. And in case you don't know, cold market means she didn't know them. So she went online, used our cold market scripts, and has been the #1 recruiter in her company for years. And I have several other stories of people who've been top recruiters using this sort of thing. So the script goes like this. Hey, I know we don't know each other. Okay. I see that you're in Dallas, Texas. I'm looking to expand my business in Dallas, Texas. Would you be open to taking a look at what I'm doing to make extra money on social media? And if not, no big deal. Now, that is an example of using location. Would you like to build in Dallas, Texas? Of course you would, right? So you don't have to have some elaborate, blueprint, some elaborate, here's my, business plan for expanding into Dallas. No, you don't have some big, you don't have to have some big elaborate thing. You just have to have the desire to grow in that area. Now, I don't know why people do this, but if you notice that they are in a country your company is not open, don't prospect them. Not sure why I have to say that, but I do. And so if they're in a location you're not open in, choose somebody else. Now you can swap location for occupation. And you could say, hey, I know we don't know each other. I see that you're a realtor. We happen to work with a lot of realtors, and show them how to make extra money on social media. Is that something you'd be open to checking out? And if not, no big deal. Now, your first reaction may be, well, I don't have any realtors in my team. You're using the royal we, okay? And the we is the company. Because I assure you, unless you're just a brand new this week company, you have realtors in your company. Realtors tend to like network marketing. It makes sense to them because they don't get residual income otherwise, usually. And so, you are a representative of the company, so you can use the term we, even if you don't have realtors in your personal team. So both of those scripts, they answer a few questions that cold market would have. Do I know you? What do you want? Why me? Very powerful. Now, if they say, nah, not interested, then build rapport. Cool, no problem. How long have you lived in Dallas? Were you born there? Cool, no problem. How long have you been a realtor? Do you do residential or commercial? Building rapport is easy once they know what it is that you actually want. It gets awkward when they don't know that. Number 3, stop beating around the bush with people you know and get to the point. So if you're reaching out to someone that you haven't talked to in years, don't say, hey, how's it going? How's little Timmy? What are you up to nowadays? Oh, wow, that's so cool. Oh my goodness, really? Right? Don't do that, because the whole time they're like, what do they want? I haven't talked to them in years. What's going on? Here's what you say instead. Here's a script, okay? Hey, haven't talked to you in years. Man, I would love to catch up. Let's schedule a time to catch up soon, hopefully. But listen, I'm doing this project, and I'm just thinking about the coolest, smartest, whatever adjective you want to use, the coolest, smartest, the sharpest people I've ever worked with or went to school with, or whatever your relationship is to them. And I thought of you. And I don't know if this thing's a fit for you or not. It may not be. But would you be open to taking a look at the project that I'm working on to make some extra money? If you're open to it, I'll send you some more information. If not, totally cool. Either way, I'd love to catch up at some point. That is a very powerful script. It gets to the point, lets them know that you're busy, lets them know that you're up to something, and also lets them know that you care and you do want to catch up. And if they say, nah, I'm focused on what I'm doing, I would suggest still schedule the catch-up, like do the catch-up. Number 4, don't try to recruit those already skeptical to you. Now, this is what I would call burnt market. Some of you have a warm market. People, that know you, you know them, friends, family members, coworkers maybe. Some of you have burnt market because you've approached them so many times with opportunities or with whatever else, fill in the blank, and they're just skeptical of you, right? So they see you coming, they're like, oh, what are you selling today? Are you rich yet? Right? They're just skeptical, cynical to you. For the purpose of these people, do not try to recruit them, and do not talk about money to them. Instead, you want to deflect money. So it looks like this. Here's what it sounds like. Hey, I know what I'm doing isn't a fit for you, but I think you might like the product. It helps with blank. So for that particular type of person, don't go for the recruit, go for the product. Because even people skeptical about you and money still like to buy good products. And I'm just curious, is that helpful? Is any of this helpful? This is, by the way, this is the name of the office. I'm not sure why it's called Synergy, but it's called Synergy Suites. Number 5, do build rapport with those that reach out to you. So sometimes people hear my message and they're like, man, he hates rapport. I hate rapport in the wrong position. And too often people are building rapport forever and they never get to the point. So they don't make any money. Do build rapport with those that reach out to you. So if you do a reel or a TikTok, and we'll talk about this, we'll talk about marketing. I'm not sure if that's I'm not sure if that's tomorrow or not, but we'll talk about marketing, this week. You do a video and people reach out to you, absolutely build rapport with them. So you do a video about weight loss or energy or sleeping or whatever, and they reach out to you for more information. That is perfect situation to build rapport and just say, hey, how long have you been struggling with that? Hey, what have you tried for weight loss? Hey, where do you find yourself not having enough energy? Ask them questions. When they're reaching out to you, that is absolutely a green light to ask them more questions. And then don't hype.
Yeah.
I know that there's one person in your company that made $10,000 their first month. And the reality of it is 99 times out of 100, it's because they brought over a team. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
There needs to be more honesty in our profession. So just because one person in history did it doesn't mean that's what you lead with, or you're going to have a lot of disappointed people. Don't hype. Don't use the wild exception in your prospecting. Most people don't believe they can do that. So for most people, I suggest you talk small numbers. Hey, if you want to make a few hundred extra bucks a month, we can show you how to do that. Most people believe they can do that on the side. Most people do not believe they can make 2,000 bucks or more on the side. Now, if you're dealing with a certain personality type that is a big personality type and rock star, then okay, share, but don't ever make it sound too easy, because then it starts to sound too fishy. How many know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about there? You ever have that? You ever see someone hyping another person and just it's what gives network marketing a bad name. Don't do it. And for recruiting, don't rely on just you. Use a tool and tell them, hey, by the way, if you wanted to build this business, you would use this same video or same recording or same whatever it is that you're using. Most people use video nowadays, right? Or it could be a live presentation, and you just say, hey, and if you wanted to build a business, you would just send people to a live presentation, which we do weekly or whatever it is that you do. I prefer video because that way it's always there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, fully duplicatable. 10,000 people could watch it tomorrow. And so, but make sure, especially with recruiting. Now, with products, not so stringent. Why? Because you don't have to be duplicatable for someone to get on a product, right? But for recruiting, you do. Very, very important. Don't just use your charisma or personality to recruit somebody. Have them go through a process. Have them go through a system. Now, here's what I realized.
All right.
If you make it about
All right, that is it. That is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, Irene.